life or
without like wanting to sound like a frog.
Yeah.
So you're all hungover right now. So I'm drunk right now.
So let's just say it's our day off, so don't believe me, but I'm not drunk right now.
There's like you know, like you have to sort of a diet adjustment, which is hard for me. But honestly, because they decided to give my solo song, make it the fucking dance song of the show. So you know, you just have to. Right, but you know, you have physical therapy for.
Yeah.
So,
I think I'm still getting used to the weekends, just because it's like 2 shows on Saturdays and Sundays,
Yeah.
and it's like everything kind of blends together. So
Yeah.
the weeks aren't that hard, because you have the day to kind of like.
You make it through the week, and then you realize you've only done half of the shows of that week.
Right. And so those are like by the end of Sunday, you're like, it's like I was saying, the difference between like Tuesday night and Sunday night is so vast. For me, like Tuesday night, I'm like, oh my god, like that was great. I could sing this show like for the rest of my life. It's so easy. And then by Sunday night, I'm like, how did I ever get this job?
Life.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go to Second City and talk about it on my day off. One day off.
I was like, I will never see a performance on a Saturday night or a Sunday night again, because I understand how like, you know, because like how tired you are.
Tuesday night's the night to
Tuesday
go.
night is the night we are
It's
rested.
a lottery on Tuesday. Okay, so your questions, audience question. Yes, back at the corner there.
The show is so high energy. How do you keep your energy up the entire time? Because literally, I haven't seen all of
Drugs.
you do it. Other than cocaine.
Other than cocaine.
But,
I wish it
I mean,
wasn't
because really, I mean, between the dance numbers and the singing and the dancing,
Yeah.
and then everything is so high energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know,
Great question. Keeping your energy up through this whole show.
I have to like actually be disciplined. Like the days where like I'm kind of like a lazy bum and I like sleep all day and like go to In and Out and like don't really do anything and kind of like slide through my warm up. Those shows are really hard. But like if I like got a good night's sleep and like, you know, I ate well and I like did some sort of warm up, like I have to just actually be disciplined. And like the days where I try to let myself off the hook, it's like halfway through the show, I'm like, oh my god, this is the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I catch her napping backstage.
I'm always napping.
Naps are really key.
But I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, it's hard to do, because I don't think, at least for me, for my part, I don't leave the stage once the show starts for like the first hour of the show. So it's like getting shot out of a cannon, you know. And you just you get used to it, I guess.
Yeah.
But like it's hard.
I love coffee. I have a coffee like before every show, I gotta say, or else I'm gonna die.
And there's a Starbucks across the street.
Yeah,
It all works out.
You know what?
That just opened just before the show came in.
Thank
so that might
God.
not be a coincidence. Somebody else had a hand up down here. Yes, sir.
I was going to ask about drugs and cocaine.
Oh.
I know that you mentioned conservatory in Cincinnati and everything, but I was wondering just in general for all three of you, were you always so focused on musical theater in particular, or did you cast a wider net, like, you know, just straight plays, or also, you know, anything in front of camera? And did you find out your opportunities with representation or on your own? Did you find out by yourself? Good question.
Cool. So yeah, you were always interested in music theater, and how'd you? I'll just.
You start. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I grew up in a small town where theater was my only outlet. So I grew up in the theater, I loved the theater, and I still will always love theater. So I went to school for musical theater, just only theater. But then once I graduated, let's be real, like we need work. I wasn't gonna limit myself to just doing anything, and I would love to I did plays and stuff in high school, but I would love to do other stuff, like as long as I'm getting to act and perform and work with other actors, that's what I truly find the most rewarding. I'm happy.
After doing a musical like this, I don't ever want to do a musical ever again. Take me out. No, because they're hard.
Yeah.
And I'm,
Get a movie, get a nice cushy trailer.
Please God. Oh my God, it's hard. But I mean, growing up, I wasn't only interested in musical theater, you know, but I went to college for acting. Well, just general acting. So does that? I lost my train of thought. It's gone. I mean, yeah, I want. Of course, you go.
Representation.
This is
I would do
representation.
anything as long as I got money for it.
Yeah. This is Hollywood Boulevard.
I mean, so luckily I have a job, so I don't have to go there yet. Yet.
Sell yourself.
But I am prepared.
As you were saying, this was sort of your dream and goal, right? To do music theater. And
Not
you're in school for
necessarily.
that right now?
I studied at CMU. You have to, like, it's the acting program, and it's kind of a double major musical theater. So it's like we have the same curriculum as the actors, but then we have singing and dance lessons as well, basically. So I only did one musical at Carnegie Mellon actually, and everything else was theater. And I really want to do everything. I want to do film and television and theater and musical theater and sort of however the opportunities open up.
Yeah.
And I got, as far as the representation question,
I didn't even touch on that. Sorry.
yeah, I got this through an open call, but I don't think that will ever happen again. It's like just so happens that like they were looking for like a specific type that was so right, but I don't necessarily think that I would personally rely on that for like the future from this when this job is over and moving on to other things. I just think it like with it just helps to be able to find out about more with representation, and like having representation now, it's helped like being here, being able to maximize some of my time too, and meet people that have seen the show and stuff like that, as far as like keeping doors open, because it's like with this kind of career, you can't ever really just be like, okay, I've made it, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like there's always something, you're sort of being happy where you are, but kind of always preparing for the future in a way, and I think representation makes that a little easier.
It definitely
Because
does.
it's like, what's the best next step? And
And you're also working
Yeah.
with them too, because you know what you're right for. You
Right.
know? So they're just helping you too, but you also need to know like, okay, that's what I'm good at. That's what I want to do.
And their relationships help too, like get you in the door
Yeah.
for opportunities that like your name and headshot wouldn't really mean anything yet, you know?
And sometimes they like get auditions that you couldn't get without representation, you know?
Yeah.
Like the audition I went in for wasn't an open call, like it was invitation only. No, but I mean because like, it was like they sent it out to like the agents, like we're looking for this type, and so submit your people, and that's how I got the audition for the show.
But it definitely can be done.
Oh,
Without-
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
I was
the guy who's on the
nothing.
first national tour got the show without representation. I mean, I don't think he still
Especially
has
with shows,
representation.
like shows that have carry their own weight, that like don't need. It's like it makes so much more room for like young actors or actors without a huge resume, because like they're looking at your talent. They're not really looking for like you to sell the tickets. So it's like shows like Mormon are wonderful because like for a lot of us in the cast, it's like either our first big credit or like that's how a lot of people have joined the union and like things like that. Like shows like this, it's a lot easier to maybe not necessarily be with like.
Because
the
they
top
needed names,
agency in the
that's
world.
gonna be here.
I still be in school.
I was going in on those open calls myself, like not even telling my agent really, just getting my face in the room because that's what really matters.
Yeah, you
Who's
have to be
there,
willing
yeah.
to do stuff for yourself too.
Let's talk about the other mediums too, like film and TV stuff. It just kind of occurred to me that a lot of the original cast members of the Broadway production are now doing stuff in film and
Yeah.
TV, and so they enjoy doing the music theater and we're interested in the other realms and stuff too, as I'm sure you guys are.
I think this musical comedy can kind of translate to a lot of the kid.
What's beautiful here?
Yeah, it's a lot about the look here.
Yeah.
Whereas in New York, like I feel like people really come with a skill. There's a lot of people in New York and Los Angeles who does really. I'm not sure about that.
Oh shit! That's
No,
That's a
it's
little
true.
shady.
It's funny though, because the casting directors that I have met with are a lot more excited about talent than I thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think some of it, like while that might get you in the door, it
Like,
might
oh, you
not
have a great
give you
look.
job.
Oh, but also you're funny.
Not just about.
Right.
Well, everyone is gorgeous here.
And everyone is an actor.
Everyone's an actor. Everyone's gorgeous. Like it makes me want to hate
It's
myself.
a lot more laid back here to me. The
Well, it is,
people,
yeah.
Like the meetings and stuff like that. It's very.
Yeah. You know what I'll say though? It's like everything, I mean, all my experience in New York, everything is more spread out, not even in the not just in the landscape, but even in the
spread out.
business. Like
Yeah.
in New York, it's like once you know a couple people, it sort of feels like you at least you know
The
all
world
this
is
stuff.
much
You're in the
smaller.
club.
Yeah, because it's like this casting director is like was in their first show with this person who was with that person, and so it's like it's easier. It seems like it's easier to sort of build up the totem pole.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it's like you can get a job and film it for a month and then never be heard of again for however long, unless you become a pilot in pilot season. But then in the summer, nothing's happened. Even in New York, like in New York, if you get a job at a show and it runs well, you're like, okay, I can be with this for like a year. You know, as long term as any acting job can be.
And writing's
Right.
Did you, what would you say is like your personally, each of you, the message that you would get out of the show? Like, I really like what you said about how it's about religion,
Well, that was
in
like
general.
a direct quote from the show. The one, I guess not the religion one, but when he said,
Let's work to make this our paradise planet.
yeah. Well, because one of the lines in the show, it's, at the end of the show, it doesn't matter if you break the rules or you make things up or if you
It doesn't matter what you believe in.
Yeah, it doesn't matter as
as
long as we're not,
Do you have people going into seeing the show that think it's going to be something for, like, religion in a way, and then because I know I have friends who are completely Christian and I'm completely not, and it's all this, and they love the show, both Christians and non-Christians.
Right.
So do you have people who like come in thinking, oh, it's going to be like a show about, like Jesus Christ Superstar, more just a little bit like that, and then
the ones that go south are always the ones that
Or like the subscribers
who
would be
go,
there.
who go to Yelp.com and write a 1-star review
Right.
that I die over. That's my favorite thing to do in the world. To read the people. I don't want to say you're like, oh, you didn't get it, but they just would not
it's just a
have
narrow-minded
any of it.
Yeah.
kind of have to like go along.
You have to like be
You have to be in the world.
Yeah.
And then there are also like, the hardcore religious people, Christians say, that see it only as Mormonism being this way. Like,
Exactly.
oh yeah, those
One of
Mormons
my
are
friends'
so
moms
funny.
was like, yeah, Mormons are crazy. And they're like, you don't.
It's a satire.
Jesus
It's a
Christ's
satire.
mom getting knocked up by God is at least we could also write a little musical about that, but we didn't.
We haven't yet.
Because it doesn't matter what you believe in.
Right.
It's all it's all metaphorical.
Yeah. I think I would say for me that like optimism and an open heart really can't change things because it's like he's not the golden boy, he's like the fuck up,
Yeah.
but he like has a heart for these people and isn't trying to make them fit what he wants them to. So he's the one who changes something, and it's like my character is like she just has so much hope, and like that can actually progress things, and that not necessarily, which like I think the heart of a lot of religion, especially like the sort of Judeo-Christian religions that are mocked a lot, come
I've
from
never
the
used
heart.
Judeo-Christian in a sentence before.
But like the heart of a lot of these religions are sort of like the underdog story, and like you don't have to be a king to be able to change
Right.
the world, and so that's sort of what I took from it.
Oh, that's a really nice thing.
Let's just let Danae handle all those questions.
Judeo-Christian studies.
Oh shit!
Forward.
It's just the final show.
And just to follow up on my other question, do you guys always have to be hustling? Are you guys out during the day doing auditions at the same time that you're doing a show? It's just the acting side.
I mean, like I've had days where it's like, you're gonna have a few meetings, a lot of the time. Like some of the time I have all the time, but like during the weekday, especially, for me it's important to just chill and get a lot of rest. Mostly, like towards when it gets closer to the weekend, like my Thursdays and Friday afternoons are kind of sacred to me, where I will like just sit at home and play video games because I'm gonna need that energy for the weekend.
Yeah.
But I mean, there have been days when it's like, on a Monday, my agent's like, I have you 4 meetings, and I'm like, I kill him.
On opposite sides of
Exactly, and I'm like driving across town, stuck in traffic at 3 o'clock.
what do you most love about LA? Going off of that.
There's traffic.
I like from a business perspective or just like the city?
From a personal perspective.
I love the weather. I would be in
Oh
Pittsburgh
my
right now.
God.
I went home to I went back to school to like see my
Amen.
classmates in their show and it was 9 degrees. And like I'm from Florida.
I'm from Florida.
I'm from
Orlando.
Florida too.
Oh, you're from Orlando? No way!
I'm from South Dakota, and it snowed today.
Yes.
It
that's
snowed in South Dakota today.
Sunshine and sleep can like make you a happy person.
It's not too humid that it's too hot that you're sweating.
Right.
Right, like I'm wearing a jacket. Like
Yeah,
the weather's
yeah.
like, it's just perfect.
And like I can go to the beach, I can go to the canyon, I can go to
Like the only reason people even complain about the traffic here in LA is because it's the only thing to complain about.
Yes, it
What
else are you
it
gonna
is.
complain
the
about?
earthquake kind of terrified me, but other than that.
That was the first earthquake for me too. So
Me
that's
too.
pretty
That
scary.
was crazy. It sounded like a truck was driving through my apartment.
Right. But with the hustle question,
No, I get it.
I think it's like a delicate balance because it's like, for instance, for me, like I had to choose between like doing like a showcase that my school puts on for presentation casting directors or taking this job. And so for me, a lot of being out here, I'm like, okay, like am I still like making this opportunity like work or should I be doing this and blah, blah, blah. And there's also a balance of like relaxing and being thankful that you are in a position to have a job and like it's not necessarily all about the next step. So it's like, and so much of it's outside of your control, especially us, because it's like if we do want to get it, we do want to work
Yeah.
while we're here, we have to
It's
be
like
out by
up to
half
you.
hour and like
There's so much
it's like more about I guess meeting
that is
people than
out of your control in this business. It's
To a certain
and it almost
extent.
To a
makes
certain
you
extent,
more
but I mean, it's like,
controlling
you know,
almost.
If you're wanting to go to the meetings, then it's out of your control. You have to go. But if you just don't want to go, then you don't really.
And
have
that's
to,
the
I
option I
guess.
choose most of the time.
Yeah, you know. Let's be real.
I'm like, I don't just what time is it?
Yeah.
There's traffic.
But it is exciting to go and meet people here.
It is.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
feel like the opposite. I feel like every meeting I get, I'm like, okay, great. I'm not gonna like, and then, you know what I mean? It's like I didn't like make the wrong decision.
Or even like
Yeah, I haven't
the other-
actually turned down any meetings.
Right.
I don't know.
Or like,
so.
you know, it's I don't want to be that person, but I'm gonna be this person. But it's cool to see celebrities every once in a
It's so
while.
cool. Are you kidding?
Like, you know, Harrison Ford came to the show, John Hamm was at the show.
Quinn
The other
from
people, there were people that were partying with one of the Kardashians last night.
Really?
Yes. And David Arquette, and I was
Oh, yeah.
like, I went to the wrong bar.
No, it is fun.
Yeah, you felt
Really
this.
exciting.
Just wanted to- yeah, I mean, like, if you want, like, one or, like, maybe, like, one more question. And
Oh, I'm good. They filled my 5
Great.
words that I had to write.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You get what you need to do?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you a couple of questions.
Actually, I have to bring in Mr. Henderson really quickly. You can have the very end because he has a
Okay.
tight schedule. He's got to leave, but hang right there.
Okay.
Actually,
Okay, we're gonna do something a little bit off the wall. Now, each one of you tell me why everybody should see the Book of Mormon in 20 words as it relates to your character.
As it relates to my character, 4 words, 5 words. I play Elder Cunningham, and you should see it because it's the funniest thing that exists in the theater right now.
I play Nabalungi, and you can change the world by being hopeful.
I play Elder McKinley. I love tap dancing, sparkles, and belting, but I'm not gay.
Oh, I didn't get the assignment.
I think I just made it into my own little thing. I think we all did, you know. So that's why you should come.
And how do you prepare for your role each night? Last question.
I have an iced tea, I rest my voice, and I watch a TV show.
What TV show?
This week it's been The Walking Dead.
I warm up vocally, I sip some tea, I steam my voice, and I stretch.
Okay, so I turn off all the lights in my dressing room, and I get as close to the mirror as I possibly can, and I just say my character's name over and over as fast as I can in succession until they call places. Thank you.
And this is Karen for Hollywood Happenings, reporting live And you can check us out at hollywoodhappenings.webs.com, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Thank you.